Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. You've seen me talk about this at other times on this channel, but this is sort of an updated story about the nations that hold the largest piles of gold, largest holdings of gold. And I don't think this can be understated enough because, to me, this just is probably the best argument for holding precious metals, especially gold, but even to an extent silver that's out there. This comes to us from a Business Insider, and it's the 10 countries with the biggest stockpiles of gold. The volume of gold bought by central banks in 2018 rose to its highest level since the end of the gold standard nearly a half century ago. And that is extremely important. Since the end of the gold standard, this buying of gold by central banks has really been increasing. And probably the best place to go to get the latest facts and figures on that and to be updated on this one topic would be Small Gold's channel. He's continually updating both silver and gold stockpiles by nations and banks around the world. The trend has continued this year in 2019, with February seeing the most monthly purchases in 4 months. Now, this is a point of contention and debate, but I believe it's true that the U.S. holds the largest amount of reserves, and the countries that are the closest behind, there's 10 of them in this list here. And the trend has continued. February has seen the most of the purchases, as mentioned before. And here's how much each country held as of early April 2019, according to the latest data available from the International Monetary Fund and the World Gold Council. And number 10 is India. And India is quite an interesting nation as far as gold holdings. These are official gold holdings of 608.7 tons. And the percent of foreign reserves in gold is 6.4%. As the global economy slows, emerging markets have looked to increase holdings of the yellow metal, and Indian reserves have been increasing steadily since last August. Now, what makes India unique and different, I think, in this particular case, I think is quite intriguing because it could be, I don't really know how you would measure this, and I don't know that it really can be measured. However, per capita, there's more gold held privately in India than probably any other nation in the world, with the exception of maybe China. But in private hands, because of the cultural reasons, you're seeing a lot more gold being held in India by private individuals. And to me, that is probably the biggest strength that a country can have. And so even though India is number 10 on this list, in all reality, they probably should be number 1 as far as wealth distributed throughout their nation by many, many individuals. The vast majority of Indians holding some sort of gold there. But of course, there's a lot of poverty in India as well. But by and large, spread out per capita, or for private ownership, that is, India, I believe, is probably number 1 or very close to it, with China. As we move down the list here, we go to the Netherlands at being number 9. And they have 612.5 tons as of April of 2019. The percent of foreign reserves in gold is 65.9%. The Netherlands has also moved to bring its gold reserves closer to home in recent years. In 2014, the Dutch Central Bank said that repatriating some of its gold holdings from New York would have a positive effect on public confidence. And you can't fault them for that. For sure. I know Germany had talked about that as well, and they repatriated some of their gold, and other nations have been doing the same thing. And it's definitely good to have it closer to home. Sometimes some nations don't have the facilities to store it and secure it, and that's why they chose the United States. In fact, that's what World War II, many European nations on the Allied side did send their gold to the United States, and that's probably what the than the Netherlands did as well. Japan is number 8 on the list. Their official gold holdings are 765.2 tons. The percent of foreign reserves in gold is 2.5%. Japan's share of global foreign exchange reserves rose to a 15-year high at 5.2% last year, according to the International Monetary Fund. But gold only accounts for a relatively small portion of that, about the same percent as China. So very interesting there. Switzerland. Now, if you divide this out by per capita, even though this is official gold holdings, I believe they have, if I'm not mistaken, the largest per capita, if distributed among their citizenry. Their official gold holdings are 1,040 tons. And the percentage of foreign reserves in gold is 5.5%. With a population of about 8.4 million, Switzerland is said to have the largest gold reserves per capita. So yeah, that's what I thought that'd be the case. So a relatively small country as far as population-wise, but per capita. But that does not mean that everybody in Switzerland owns that much gold. It's just that if you, according to the official gold holdings by the government, their central bank, divided out per capita, that would be the largest there. China comes in at number 6. And their official gold holdings are 1,874.3 tons. And the percent of foreign reserves in gold is 2.5%. As China pursues stimulus measures to soften the blow of long-expected slowdown, its central bank has also been steadily increasing its gold reserves. March marked the 4th consecutive month of gains. I think they're also the largest gold-producing nation in the world as well. And so with that being said, the gold that they have in their nation and what they report, I don't know. No one really knows how accurate it is to check it. And they may have much more than this. That's their official gold holdings. That's one thing to consider. These are officially reported holdings. And being that China is the largest producing nation in the world, they may have a lot more than this in reality. Russia is number 5 on the list with 2,150.5 tons of gold. The percentage of foreign reserves in gold is 19.1%. In a bid to reduce reliance on American assets, Russia has been buying more of the yellow metal. Its reserves have quadrupled over the past decade, and that's pretty amazing to see that has occurred. And yes, I can see that, and many of the what is known as the BRICS nations are doing that. Turkey as well, and other nations are using gold kind of offset, but to try to reduce reliance on America and the dollar too as well. Number 4 is France. Their official gold holdings are 2,436 tons. Amazing. Percentage of foreign reserves in gold is 61.1%. And the last year, Reuters reported that the Bank of France began working to improve the quality of its gold reserves. The move was meant to help it trade on the international market. And of course, what does that mean? Is, there is what's considered good delivery bars, and perhaps some of their gold was before that standard was set. I know that was an issue here in the United States as well, where gold was repatriated from old coins or what have you, or and the gold that was 90% or less, 14 karat jewelry and the like, and all kinds of different things. But giving it to the good delivery bars, which I believe is 999 fine or higher. Number 3 is Italy. Wow. This is a nation that has been in trouble financially recently. Their economy's not been doing very well, but their official gold holdings are 2,451.8 tons. The percent of foreign reserves in gold are 66.9%. And following is the rise of the populist five-star movement, the future of the yellow metal in Italy appears uncertain. Earlier this month, Rome proposed that official ownership of gold reserves be transferred from the Bank of Italy to the public. Interesting. Wow. And what does that mean? I don't know. But it's fascinating to see that. proposal there, and that might be to help offset their financial troubles or their economic woes there. Number two, it's of really no surprise, Germany is number two. The Deutsche Bundesbank, yes, indeed, there it is. Their official gold holdings are 3,369.7 tons. And look at their percentage of foreign reserves in gold, 70.6. Germany repatriated billions of dollars worth of gold in 2017, and moves central banks in the Eurozone have been taking to bolster public confidence. Some of its reserves had previously been held in Paris and New York. You know, that does kind of surprise me because this is the second time we've heard about that, to bolster public confidence. You know, in the Western world, how many people really even care about gold and silver? We know in the East, Middle East, gold is highly valued, even to this day in this digital age. But in the West, interesting. I think that's a good thing, though, for sure. Number one, it's of no surprise, for sure. But to some of you, it may be because there's a lot of people out there that really believe that that we don't have all this gold that we claim we have. People think that because of the lack of transparency with the Fort Knox and the gold holdings, that that we are don't have as much gold as we say we have. The official gold holdings are 8,133.5 tons as of April 2019. And the percent of foreign reserves in gold is 74.9%. And the U.S. is reported to hold significantly more gold reserves than any other countries, over twice that of the next two countries together. Between 1913 and 1961, the Federal Reserve was required to hold gold equal to up to 40% of the value of the currency. Of course, those days are long gone, for sure. Since we've been taken off the gold standard, there's no check or balance on our currency anymore. It's completely fiat by government decree, and that's too bad. However, considering we still have this gold, we're in a strong position to go back to a gold standard, or make that at least a portion thereof of a rules-based monetary system to hold accountable the Federal Reserve and those who wish to create money out of thin air. There's your list, and this just goes to show you that in this day and age where ones and zeros rule the day, up to and including our money, and not just our money, this form of dollars that are essentially ones and zeros that we transact. In fact, now more than ever, people are becoming less and less reliant on cash. It's all digital transactions on bank cards and the like. But even in the time where that is occurring, we still see that gold rules the day, and central banks are holding it, and for good reason, for sure. So fascinating indeed. Post your thoughts below. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.